Good afternoon, students and friends. Last week I couldn't come. This week I have come again. And this time also I shall be taking up Soyinka. We left Soyinka a long time back, and this week we come back with Soyinka and a new topic, the use of myth in Soyinka's A Dance of the Forests. In the beginning, I shall be talking on myth briefly. What is a myth, or what is myth? Myth or a myth is usually interpreted as a hereditary story which originated in the ancient past, a story which comes down to us from generations. The myth and the ritual are perhaps interconnected, but there is a controversy as to whether a ritual gives birth to a myth or a myth gives birth to a set of rituals. But one thing is clear, that myths and rituals are interconnected. Lévi-Strauss has defined or interpreted myth in a different way. According to him, a myth is a sign, and when a myth is interpreted properly, we can understand the practical wisdom of a particular culture. Myths are used in literary texts in various ways. A myth can be used as a symbol, as a sign, or a myth also can be used as a structural device. In today's lecture, we shall try to understand how Soyinka has used myth in A Dance of the Forests. Now I shall write down here on the board in Soyinka's use of myth in A Dance of the Forests, we find there are 4 strands. Strand 1, the Mata Kharibu myth. 2, the myth of the forest and the forest culture. 3, the aruba myth and the aruba ritual. And finally, a new myth which is invented or created by Soyinka himself. And I shall discuss one by one all these 4 myths, how Soyinka has used them and to what purpose he has used them. I shall try to discuss. First, the Mata Kharibu myth. The Mata Kharibu myth precisely points out that there is no change in the pattern. As the old woman says in the play, there is no change in the pattern. The same pattern is repeating itself in various times, in various ages. The Mata Kharibu myth presents to us a tyrannical monarch and a greedy queen. So tyranny, oppression, repression, greed, all these are continuing. They have been continuing for ages, for generations. In the ancient times, the tyrannical emperor or king was there, and then came the colonizers, the alien masters, the alien power, and the same kind of repression was there on the people of Africa. And now Nigeria, Africa is independent. And there is a question perhaps in the mind of Soyinka or in the mind of all right-thinking men, a question about the future of the country. Will the representatives of the people, after assuming power, become different? Or will they repeat the same ancient pattern, becoming tyrannical, oppressing the common people, etc.? So the Mata Kharibu myth is a central theme, as if, or the central symbol of the play, the continuing pattern. And second, the myth of the forest. In the myth of the forest, Soyinka presents a number of characters like Ishuro, Muret, Ogun, etc. The Ishuro is an aggressive spirit. Ishuro wants to take revenge on people who will be destroying the forest. Now we may note, I should be writing loud, we may note that, well, Ishuro and Oro, they are interconnected. How? I shall show you right now. Now we shall discuss how Soyinka connects the Mata Kharibu story, the Mata Kharibu myth, with the forest myth. Now the celebrations will be there. People will celebrate their independence, and people are assembling in the town, and they are coming to the forest as well. So on the occasion of the celebration, a totem has been made. A totem has been made by Dimok, the artist. So the totem has been made out of aruba tree. Aruba tree is a sacred tree, sacred to the god Oro, and Ishuro will take revenge. The tree has been destroyed and Ishuro will take revenge. So this story has two dimensions. I shall come to that, but before that, please note Ishuro. So Ishuro, Oro, Ishuro. So we may take that Ishuro is perhaps the issue of Oro. So Oro's son, Oro, the lord of the forest trees, and Dimok has destroyed the sacred tree Aruba. So he must be punished, and Ishuro has come to punish Dimok. Dimok the artist. But Ogun is there. Ogun is also a ferocious spirit. But Ogun, on the other hand, is the patron god of the carvers. A carver. Dimok is a carver, Dimok is an artist. So Dimok is saved by Ogun. And therefore, in Nigerian African mythology, it is said that Ogun is a symbol of both creation and destruction. Ogun is a destructive spirit, but Ogun protects the artists, the creators. Thus, the forest story, the forest myth is connected with the Mata Kharibu story as well. Now, a word about Dimok. Dimok, Rola are two characters in the present, but actually they are not the characters that belong to the present age alone. They are also repetitions of the past. Dimok was the ancient carver, the ancient artist in the court of Mata Kharibu. And Rola, the prostitute, was actually the queen of Mata Kharibu, Madame Tortoise. Now, Dimok, as he is presented here, is an artist. And towards the end of the play, we shall see that Dimok tries to initiate a change. But shall we think, or shall we interpret the whole thing as Soyinka's view that only artists, thinking men, can perhaps initiate change that will alter the society? Now, the story of Dimok is both an old story and a new story. The story of Dimok is connected with the story of the forest and the forest dwellers. Thus, the two things are connected here. And now I shall come to the third thing. The third strand, we come to the third strand, that is the aruba ritual. Well, there are certain fundamental principles of the aruba ritual where the world of the living and the world of the dead, they are introduced, and the urban world. And the urban world is also introduced, perhaps juxtaposed with the forest world. So, Soyinka takes up these three, the world of the dead, the world of the living, and the urban world. As you see in the play, the world of the dead is represented by the old man and the old woman, and the world of the living represented by the living men, including Dimok, Rola and others. But perhaps there is a twist there also, because Dimok and Rola, though are living beings, they represent, indirectly at least, the past as well. So the living and the dead, they come together, they interact, and that is a part of the aruba ritual, which is used by Soyinka in his play. The dead man and the dead woman come and they talk with the living people, and the urban world comes to the forest world. The living men interact with the forest spirits, as if the forest spirits react at the deeds of the living men. But there is a fourth point, which is an addition of Soyinka. With this we may say an area of transition. The living and the dead both have come. How they will meet, and why they will meet, what is the purpose, and there we find an area of transition to play. What is this area of transition? I shall be coming very soon. But before that, I'll point out one thing, that Soyinka has reversed the Egungun motif. What is the Egungun motif? In aruba ritual, it is seen that dead spirits are incarnated, but only those spirits who were good, who were benevolent, would come back in reincarnation. Here in the play, there is a change. And we find that only those people who become victims of torture and tyranny are reincarnated. There is another thing which is reversed here in Soyinka. In Soyinka, we find that the old or the dead do not come to ask explanation from the present or the living. The past doesn't want or doesn't demand an explanation from the present. On the contrary, it is the present that demands an explanation from the past. The present demanding an explanation from the past, not the past demanding an explanation from the present, which is commonly seen in the aruba ritual. Therefore, we can say that in Soyinka's play, the aruba ritual is reversed. Now, what is the area of transition? I'll come to that. The old woman and the old man who were introduced in the play in the beginning as the dead man and the dead woman have come once again. Now we have talked about the Mata Kharibu episode. Right now, I should be talking about the symbolic significance of the Mata Kharibu episode. The Mata Kharibu episode blasts the common myth that old is always gold, that past was always glorious. Past was not glorious at all. Past was as cruel, as tyrannical as the present is. In fact, there was virtually no difference between the king in the Mata Kharibu dynasty and the colonial masters in the period of dependence. And now, when we come to the end part of the play, we find that the old woman delivers a half-child. Look at the half-child. Well, how this half-child is also an echo of the aruba myth or ritual. The half-child is actually Abiku, the Abiku child. The Abiku child who is destined to die even immediately after birth. So the half-child that symbolizes future. Will the future die immediately as it is born? What is the future of independent Nigeria? What will Nigeria do after the decolonization? Will they be able to find out a path for themselves? Or will they die ignominiously, pathetically, like the Abiku child of the aruba myth? That is the question. And at the end of towards the end of the play, we find that Dimok is holding the child. So Dimok, as if wants to break down the cycle, the continuing cycle of creation and destruction. So something is born destined to be destroyed. So that chain, as if is being symbolically broken by Dimok. I told you right now that maybe Soyinka was thinking that an artist can only initiate a change, because an artist has a vision. But apart from that, we may think of something else. Who is this Dimok? This Dimok was the child of the old man. Who is this old man? The old man was a soldier, a captain. The captain in the reign of Mata Kharibu, who revolted against the king. He revolted because he was asked to fight. And the captain said that he was ready to fight for the people, for the country. But he would not fight to snatch away the gold and the treasures of other kings. He will not risk the life of his soldiers and people for this futile fight. He had the guts to say. And he was imprisoned, he was tortured for years. So the old man is a symbol of revolt, which is stilted, always stilted by power. Now Dimok, as the son of the old man or the ancient captain, as if tries to initiate such a mutiny by holding the dead child, by trying to do something new, by conveying a message that the new child will not be allowed to die like the Abiku child. Now, the triplets are symbolical representations of the future of Nigeria. The three parts, the end part, the middle part, the head. So it is severed, the body is severed, there is no continuity. Now how continuity will be restored? That is a question. And Dimok was warned. Dimok was warned by the sealed lip that it is very difficult to change the chain. Now, when Dimok was warned by Aroni, who said that it is no easy matter to reverse the deed that was begun many years back. It is not easy to reverse the deed which was begun many years back. This warning was sounded to Dimok by Aroni. Now Dimok perhaps knew that it was difficult, but still he ventured to do the difficult task. So we may think that Dimok represents the spirit of sanity, the voice of reason, that something must be done. Yes, Nigeria and the whole of Russia is in crucial times, but something must be done. Now, let us sum up and let us look back and see how Soyinka uses myth to frame the structure of the play and convey the meaning of the play. Well, the Mata Kharibu myth connects the past with the present. The Mata Kharibu myth blasts the myth that past was glorious. Past was never glorious. Past was as bad as the present is. Then he makes use of the forest myth, which gives us another dimension to the play. In the forest we find a tussle between the living men and the forest spirits. The living men destroying the forest. It is a symbolic destruction. And the forest spirits trying to take revenge. But Ogun is there as a bridge between the living spirits or the living men and the foreign spirits. Because Ogun is the patron god of the Kauravas, and Ogun protects Dimok. Dimok must be protected because Dimok will act as the voice of reason. Then he uses the aruba ritual or the aruba myth, and how I have shown you how he reverses the Egungun motif, where the past comes to judge the present. The whole thing is reversed. It is the present that asks the past about its misdeeds. And the area of transition, when from the past the country is moving towards the present, which is uncertain. But all the uncertainties must be negotiated, and something new must be found out. The dead child or the half child echoes the aruba ritual. I told you, Abiku child is born to die. But now this child will perhaps not die because Dimok is holding. The three triplets, they represent the disconnected country, the unorganized country. There is a lack of oneness in the country. But how to bring this oneness? How to make the country one and single whole? That is the task of the future. So in this way, Soyinka has used myth in A Dance of the Forests, both for structural and thematic purpose. Thank you.